spokesperson, and he is in Tel Aviv. Mr. Hyman, thank you for joining us this morning. You heard the clip there of a family member expressing concern. Is this a done deal?
Good morning, Travis. Thank you very much for having me on. I'll say that today is a bittersweet day in Israel. Bitter because currently what's being discussed, what's on the table, is 50 Israeli civilians, hostages being held in Gaza by Hamas. But there's another 180 that will still be in Gaza. So it's bittersweet for us. We started this war with a mission, a twofold mission. One, to destroy Hamas, to destroy their military capabilities, to destroy their government. And secondly, to bring those 240 men, women, children, toddlers, and babies home. And we will not stop until we do that mission. This is a temporary cessation of violence so that we can get those 50 hostages free, and we will keep going until we bring them all home.
Let's talk about the timeline a little bit here, because the first hostages are expected to go free on Thursday. What more can you tell us about how logistically this is going to happen, and if Thursday is a hard date where you feel like there will be motion on this front?
So as you know, the cabinet voted on this proposal yesterday. It passed the cabinet. Now there's a 24-hour window for appeals to the Supreme Court. As part of this deal, as it's been reported, we'll have to release some Hamas prisoners from our jails. And anyone who was affected by those prisoners, by the terror that by their terrorist acts, can appeal to the Supreme Court. And there's a 24-hour window. Once that's over, that should be, like you say, Thursday. And we anticipate that hostages will then begin to be freed. And we're very much looking forward to those photos of those infants, those children, one as young as 9 months old, now taken 9 months old by Hamas masked monsters with machine guns, taken to an underground dungeon underneath Gaza. We very, very much look forward to them being reunited with their families. Unfortunately, some of them are already orphans. They saw their parents killed in front of them. I mean, who would take babies hostage? We're really hoping and praying for an end to this madness.
I want to talk about the condition of the hostages in just a moment, but on that last point that you were making of this list published of 300 names of Palestinian prisoners who could be freed, do you foresee any objections to any of those names, and could that hold up the ceasefire process?
Well, obviously, I don't have all of that information in front of me. It's up to the families who were affected by those terrorists, many of which were active in violent acts, in attempted stabbings, in throwing Molotov cocktails at moving cars and individuals. None of them are what we call terrorists with blood on their hands. None of them have actually pulled the trigger, so to speak. But still, after seeing the atrocities of October 7th, it's a painful sight for Israelis to see those terrorists released. And obviously, I can understand the families of the hostages, and I can understand the families of those affected by these terrorists that are now going free as part of this deal.
How will the 50 names that are on the list of hostages to be released be determined, and is that process still ongoing, or has that been determined already?
I don't have anything to add on that. My assumption is that will be discussed. That will be a government decision, and there's various things that they need to take into account. But we know that the first wave will be women, children, and hopefully babies and toddlers there.
And do you know their condition right now physically?
So this is the situation that we're facing. Hamas has not allowed any type of humanitarian aid. They've not allowed the Red Cross to see these prisoners. We don't know. We don't know their health. We know that they were taken on that fateful day, October 7th. We know that Hamas terrorists killed children in front of their parents and parents in front of their children. They reduced people to ash in a way that we've not seen since Auschwitz. This was the worst attack on Jews since the Holocaust, the worst terrorist attack since 9/11. So we just hope and pray that they will come back healthy and well. But I mean, can you imagine these toddlers underground for nearly 50 days with masked terrorists pointing AK-47s at them? We don't know how they're being kept there, but we hope for the best.
This is obviously a very crucial period, a very delicate time. How difficult will this all be? Because we know that Hamas is not the only armed group in that region.
Right. So you've got, as it's been reported, you've got Hamas have the vast majority of the hostages, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, another, Iranian proxy has others, and then there are other warlords and whatnot in Gaza with some of them. So it's a very complicated situation, as is urban warfare against an organization like Hamas, a genocide organization that commits the double war crime of attacking our civilians from deep within and underneath their civilians. But we will move ahead. We'll move ahead with our mission to release the full 240 hostages and to move forward after the cessation of violence to destroy Hamas and create a better future for the people of Israel and the people of Gaza. We will free Gaza from Hamas.
I want to talk about Qatar's chief negotiator, who told Reuters that a truce means, quote, no attack whatsoever, no military movements, no expansion, nothing. You're the Israeli government spokesperson on our network. How do you define ceasefire, and who will determine what constitutes a violation? And in your mind, what constitutes a violation of that?
This is all being decided by the parties. I'm not going to go into the great detail on this, but what I will say is that when we say there will be a cessation of violence, temporary cessation of violence, that's exactly what will be. Now, we know historically that Hamas has broken such agreements, but we do not intend to do so. We've said almost from the outset that we will temporarily cease violence for the release of our hostages. But that doesn't mean that our mission is over. The Prime Minister has made it very clear. Our mission is to destroy Hamas, and straight afterwards, we will continue with that mission.
Just very quickly, because I've run out of time, do you have hope that this could potentially lead to a full ceasefire?
No, a full ceasefire at this stage would be surrender to Hamas. We don't seek a full ceasefire. We seek to complete our mission, to have the 240, every single one of them, 240 Israeli hostages released unconditionally. And we seek to destroy Hamas, as I've said a number of times on your show this morning.
All right, Avi, appreciate the time. That is Avi Hyman. He's an Israeli government spokesperson joining us in Tel Aviv.